Hello, and welcome to episode 111. It's angel number 111 of no particular reason. I'm your host, Yanko, and Kerri took a day off to do what she needed to do, but we have a guest with us here. Returning guest, our good friend Gail Kraft, joining us for today's episode. Gail, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I am fantastic, Yanko. I am so happy to be here. Who knows what we're going to talk about, right?
I know, isn't that the mystery of life? Like, where is this gonna go? And that's what makes it exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So, hello, everybody. Please do come and join us, ask us questions, and join in the conversation. Yanko and I started the conversation. Wait a minute. We need to go live before we run out of things to say. Right. And we started off with I'm doing a meeting today, and what I want to talk about is don't stop believing. Don't stop believing in the magic. Don't stop believing in yourself. Don't stop believing in possibilities, right? Don't stop believing. And how many of us had that belief, that magic, that joy beaten out of us with responsibilities, with the shoulds, with the have tos, with the need to get done. And
You really shouldn't do that.
would
Yes.
you want to know something? If you don't do it, the world doesn't stop. It doesn't
Exactly.
end. And you still
Yeah.
wake up the next day,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
As you're talking, I'm thinking the same thing. Spending more time in magic in the now, and a lot of times I catch myself with the little guy when he's having fun, and I'm not agreeing with the fun he's having, and then I go like, "Oh, you shouldn't do that," and then I catch myself like, no, 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 go for it, have a ball.
Right? And why shouldn't you? What do you mean shouldn't? And what does that even mean?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Uh, you know, there are things, so I'll talk about some of the things I did as a child that were crazy. Because I had no concept of like this body could break or fear, right? So I
Mm.
lived in a third floor apartment in the inner city, and we had a front porch and the back porch. The front porch had a railing that was pretty thick, right? Um, I used to walk the railing, right? So you figure going up the steps to the first deck and then up the stairs to the third floor. So that must have been 4 stories high. And that's all cement down there. I'm in the inner city. That would have been a pretty hard smash if I fell. And it never
Right.
occurred to me. It just felt so freeing to be up there and walking. It never occurred to me that I could fall. Would I do it today? No. No.
That's where the conditioning comes in play, though, because you got
Yes.
all the conditioning and people telling you you shouldn't do that. This is that, and this is this,
Stress.
and I remember when I went to do a skydive for a very first time, because that was on my bucket list, and I wanted to see if it's exciting enough or whatever. Look exciting. You're falling off a plane and being pulled down under gravity. And so we're sitting there, and they're giving you this release form to sign in that if something happened to you, you won't go after them, or your family won't go after them. And my wife, back then, girlfriend, sits next to me and says, "You shouldn't do that. I think the chute might not open and this and that." And I said, "Well, shoots or not, I'm doing it. I want the truth. I want to see what it is like." And I don't regret it though.
No, and I mean, I have a grandson who skydives, or he parachutes, and
Okay.
once you get certified, you have to keep going every
Right,
so
right,
many
right.
weeks to keep your
Yeah.
certification. And the last time he jumped, he got stuck in the trees.
Oh,
Kind of hilarious, actually.
I mean, things happen. Don't get me wrong. Like when we were going down, I wasn't by myself because this is my first time. We're doing what they call the tandem jump, where you have somebody attached behind you, and knocks you and says, "Look at the altitude. It's time to pull the shooter. This and that," and kind of guide you to the process. Because I'm like, "Whoa, I'm enjoying the thing. I'm in the clouds." And apparently, yeah, apparently he um something didn't click, or there was possibility that I get like untethered from him, but he didn't say it. He was just like, step on my leg and push yourself right, and I'm like, what is he talking about? I'm having so much fun. And he's like, no, step on my leg and move to the right. And then I did that as we're free falling, and then I hear this like click behind, and I'm like, what is it trying to unclick me, or what's going on here? And we went down in the ground. He kind of said, you know, this could have happened. Like I checked everything, but you're okay now.
So something wasn't clicked.
Yeah, something was in like tether
Whoa.
or something, and I'm like thinking, well, maybe there was somebody influencing my reality, saying, you shouldn't do that because you might die.
But you believed that you were fine. You would believe that you were
Oh,
safe,
of course.
right?
Now than ever, I believe that I'm supported at all times because I've been close to death a couple of times. Now that I look back, and because sometimes when you're in the character and you play the game and you forgot about everything else and you're concentrating on whatever it's happening in the moment, not that you're like present, but you're having your monkey mind going around, taking you from this thought to this thought and whatever. And I never paid attention, but now I'm recognizing patterns and looking back. There were patterns where, I had a couple of near death experiences and I forget about that they ever had them. Um, so that kind of gave me a perspective that, what, when it's time for me to check out, I'll check out, or that'll be it. I don't need to worry about it.
To go to the store to pick Mariah up some
So,
medicine.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's worse
We've
today.
we have a few drama things going on at the household here. So
No, that's all right.
yeah.
That happens in our show all the time. And that's why I want to remind everybody that there's no particular reason.
And it's
Anything
live
can
and it's
happen.
unrehearsed, right?
Yes, anything can happen in
Right.
this show.
And that's fine. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, there are many times that we're asleep in our life, right?
Mm,
Um,
mm,
and then something happens to wake us up.
yes.
And we have an opportunity to listen to the wake up call and make an adjustment or not, right? And, I was on the not side for many years,
Would you
thinking that,
say that it's like a conscious thing? I think it's more of a like you weren't awakened enough. Maybe because like if I have to compare it to real person sleeping, you get this moment in the morning when you're nice and cozy in bed and it's warm and you don't want to move and people come in and says get up and you're like, you don't even want to talk about it. I think it is that way because like if you're so an automatic and autopilot,
right,
you won't even be conscious enough to know or recognize that you're waking up or anything that's
right,
going on.
right. And when you look back, and this is why looking back at the dots, right,
Hmm.
is you
Yeah.
can see, you can absolutely see. But what has happened? So one of the things that I've done in the past, and I haven't consciously stopped doing it; it just hasn't been offered. It's called a soul realignment. And what that is I literally go to the Akashic Records and
Hmm.
uncover who you are as of your soul's creation, and your star seed and a few other things. And I tell people who sign up for that. That once you know, whoops, there goes Yanko. Once you know, you can no longer unknow. And if you unknow, then the karmic response will be greater than it is right now.
Hmm.
Right. And so what that means is I'm going to tell you this is who you are. That means when you make choices based on your characteristics, if you will have success in your life. You will move forward. And when you don't make those choices, here's what that looks like, right? Here's what unaligned for you choices look like. So now
Yeah.
that you know what the unaligned actions are, when you take an unaligned action, you're now doing it intentionally, right? Because I've made you conscious. And so it's up to you. Do you want me to move forward with this? Are you ready to take responsibility for your choices or not? And I think that's part of the wake up call. I think part of us, or at least for me, so I don't want to blame anyone else. Part of me was if I wake up to it, I have to own my past actions, which is fine. I own them now. And I have to own the results of my future actions, right? And that means that everything is my fault. Everything.
Well, it's not really a fault or, to be hard on yourself and blame yourself,
Not
but
hurt. No
recognize,
blame. No,
yeah,
no blame whatsoever.
recognize that you created it and now you're harvesting it. Good or bad, it doesn't matter what it is, because like I'm recognizing it more and more. There's things that come back from like many years past, and I recognize it, and I go like, oh, I don't go to say, wow, look at this person, he must be his fault or anything. I said, all right, this is all karma running off. And I even encourage it. Sometimes I say, "Go ahead, buddy. My fault. Like, give it all back." I take it. You want to scream at me? Go ahead, scream. Do
Oh,
it.
oh, 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 oh. But Yanko, I am not responsible for your stories. I am not responsible for your reaction. If my
Yep.
intention is not to do harm, if my intention is pure, then how you receive is you mirroring.
Yeah.
It's right. And that's really like you're mirroring me and I'm mirroring you right now.
Yeah.
Right. And so if and I've done this, actually pretty recently. If I have a negative response to someone, first of all, it's not a goddamn trigger. Not a trigger.
I
Because
know.
you're
I'm glad you brought this up, because some people still
Woo!
think it's like a trigger when they're,
Oh, not a
like
trigger.
analyzing themselves. Yeah. And they go
Right?
like, oh, somebody triggered me and this is a trigger. No,
No,
you're just
it's me.
mirroring the other side.
Right? Right. And so I recognize that. But I recognize that first of all, it's something in me that I don't like. So I will deal with that. But it's still something that you're doing that I also
Yeah.
don't like. Right. And I'm going live with this. Too bad. I then get a message. I would love to give you a free healing session. Now, first of all, I don't believe any of us are broken. I don't believe any of us are wounded, and therefore I don't need healing. And that was basically what I was saying in that meeting, but wasn't received. Right.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, let me know. I'm free Monday. Right. And I'm thinking, this is just her healing herself because we're just mirrors. So if she's
Exactly.
feeling that, right? And
Yeah.
so the session never happened. The session never happened. Right. And so
Freedom,
this is what I
freedom
mean. It's
will. I
my
mean,
responsibility how I react. It's my responsibility what's going on. It's all about me, not
but
about you.
won't you say that becomes with recognizing your goods and bads and knowing yourself. Like when people say know thyself or know yourself, and then you recognize it and you have it, but it's not something you're reflecting at this time. It's no longer like a trigger, because the way I feel it, there's no energy behind to push it, to like move it.
Yes, yes,
you
yes,
know you're
yes.
receiving it, but there's no like the need to jump in or say anything. It's just like, okay, it's there, but there's no like force behind it.
Well, I will. I do have some boundaries that are or values that are important to me, and one of them is anyone
Are
who's
you
being
trying?
judgmental,
Uh-huh.
not judgment, judgmental, and that's deflection. If I am saying, Yanko, there are people in this world that are broken and that need me to lead them to enlightenment. First of all, that's
Mm.
an ego trip. Second of all, I'm judging other people. And my feeling is you're exactly where you're supposed to be on your journey, and it's none of my business. Now, if you want to go through the darkness, I will be happy to walk beside you, right? Because you should never do that. There's a should alone, quite frankly, right? But I'm not going to tell you that you have to go through the darkness because it's your journey, right? It's not up to me to decide what you should or should not do, right? Yeah.
Yours, it's about language. It comes from you're talking about the Akashic Records, self, and then you say I'm not responsible. And then she says, answer both of you here, or something in between the lines. What do you mean by that?
So I'm confused. So I'm not responsible for anyone but me.
Let me try to translate it again. It says, you're talking about yourself. Later, you say, I'm not responsible. And it says, answer about what do you like. The way I understand it's like both of you answer what are your thoughts on that?
So the Akashic Records are where your soul's journeys, past lives and future lives, are recorded.
Mm,
It's like a library of you,
right.
right? And so when I go and access that information, first of all, I can't unless you give me permission. And I mean, from a soul perspective, not just a human perspective. I can knock on the door and it's not going to open if you don't want to share. So, and I honor that. Um, so what is shown to me is what you're ready to hear, right? What the other person's ready to hear. And when I present that, I am presenting something that is helping you wake up to who you really are,
Mm,
right? And once you wake up to who you really are, then you're responsible. You individually, me individually, is responsible for honoring that. It's one thing when you don't, when you are taking a step and you don't realize that you're going in the wrong direction. You don't have a GPS. So you're going to get lost. And it's
mm,
okay, you figure it out. But when you have the map, read the map.
right.
Getting lost is now your responsibility. That's the difference. Does that make sense, Yanko?
I think it does, and I would ask Nelly to, because she understands English,
Yeah.
to attempt to write in English, so both our viewers and we can share the comments and people can
Yeah.
understand and jump in.
Yeah.
She posted another one. Let me see. Then she talks about, well, she says, this one, she says, especially I'm not gonna go in the dark with a person like yourself to guide me, which is fine. Like everybody chooses who to
Yeah.
work with. Um, and then another comment that's this is in the past. I don't know what we talked about, maybe the Akashic Records. And then she says, in even now it's in the past. It's a history. Um, and you're exiting if you're good in exiting, or in like exiting of whatever the now, or I don't know what we roll with that.
Yeah, we could
So
roll with that. And I agree that the past is the past. That the best place to be is in this moment right now, not even in the future, but in this moment right now, because it's the only
mm,
moment that is real. But many people are still carrying from the Akashic records. What I usually pull out is from past lives,
right.
not this life, but past lives. And it's from an energy perspective. It's the energetic signature that you're carrying forward. And why would you carry it forward when it's from a past life? There's a lesson, there's an experience, right? And so I want to help you release that,
Mm,
right? So recognize this is how this is affecting your life today,
right.
and you don't need to because it affected that life. And
Well, my understanding is that there my time, future, past, it's going, and you with your memories bringing past into projecting it forward, because you have some kind of idea based on your past experiences. And that's how I understand it. And anybody can kind of get the idea of that and choose um, how and which because the now changes based on whatever energetically you change, or your likes or dislikes.
Mhm.
And it's kind of hard for people to grasp that idea. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, because I was trying to explain that to somebody, and I can be wrong. Like I'm not holding
This is
the
all
ultimate
right. These are
truth.
all
Yeah,
stories that we're
I'm
making
just
up.
I'm just sharing experiences now and what valid for me. But being in observer mode most of the time, I won't say all the time myself, I'm recognizing that if something changes with me, outside has no reason not to reflect it back, and everything changes. So I don't have to go and try to change somebody with the way I speak, or tell them something, or give them some wisdom or anything. All I gotta do is change what's inside, and then everybody else just reflects it back, and all of a sudden, people change around without me changing a thing
So
outside, I
let,
mean.
let me give you an example of one of the people that I worked with, um, in one of her past lives. Um, there were there was a rape, right? And so that energetic response was affecting her life
Mm,
today.
yeah.
And, I gave her a process to release those records. So they stay in the past, they stay there, and she could stop bringing them forward. And a mantra to say for 21 days. She called me a week later and she said, first of all, I've had a dream about being raped since I was 8 years old. I've not ever told anyone, not even my husband. How did you know about this? And I said, well, it's in your records, and you gave me permission, number one. And number two, you must be ready to see it. Otherwise, it wouldn't show itself, right? So she said, well, I had the dream last night, and for the first time, I stood up to him. Thank you. So that's what I mean by the responsibility is now up to her to do, to make changes now that she has this knowledge. And she was able, I believe, because of the mantra that I was giving her, to release the records and to release that energy that was
Mm.
not from this era. She no longer has to hold this energy. And as she released that attachment to that energy, she was able to release the attachment to the dream.
I mean, we can even go deeper with stuff like just a lot of things happening in the work I do as well. There could be contracts with like a past lives, not past lives. I
Contracts,
would,
yep.
for clarity, I would say alternate timelines. Because again, if you change something, it changes it and your perception for the past or whatever.
Right,
And in
right,
the
right.
same way, I think works in the family tree or whatever, like anything you change because you have the DNA on, your father, grandfather, grandma, and all that goes back and forth to everybody else. when you like clear this out because it's being a baggage that is being carried on. So there's many different things. There's not like a one thing. The more I get into it, the more I realize that I know nothing about it. It gets even more and more like
Well, yes, and I've had people in like lives like this, Yanko, ask me, you know, well, help us understand something, right? And
Mm,
and I get very confused because you're asking me to help you understand something that's third dimensional. That is not something you're asking me to explain a feeling that has no definition. Like ultimate love, godly love, divine love is nothing at all like a love that I have for you, Yanko. It's not the same. And how can I explain something that is beyond third dimension?
yeah,
I, I can't. I can only hope that I can take you there and you
I'm
can
sure.
see it in your,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
You
yeah,
make up your mind. You get what you need out
yeah,
of it, or
yeah.
what resonates with you. You might not get anything out of it.
Right.
Sometimes I get kick out of that with like crystals or stones. Anything, not only people that you like, interact with. You can feel energy of rooms. You can feel energies of like beds or crystals or stones, and you know you give somebody a stone and they hold it and you say, well, what do you feel? And they go like, nothing.
A
I'm like,
stone.
really? Like, nothing. I don't feel anything. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Well, it's like you're going out, and I don't know what you do with your clients, but when I do meditations, and I run meditations every week, and sometimes more than once, and it's really important for me to do two things.
Mm,
Number one, try to incorporate as many senses as possible. Because
yeah,
some people don't see, some people don't hear, some people don't smell, some people don't feel. So I want
right.
to bring all of those in. So
For
imagine what it would
whoever.
feel like. What does it
Yeah,
look like? What does it smell like? Do you notice? Right? So that you as an individual can connect based on what connects for you. Number one.
right.
Number two, I try to use a process of describing where we're going and what we're doing that is loose enough that you have your own experience.
Right.
So it's not shamanic where I bring you, to the woods and then there's a tree and a door and I don't do that. That's not shamanic. I don't do that, right? I do, feeling, sensing, imagining, right? Because I want it to be your journey, not what
Right.
I want you to have,
Right. 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 Yeah.
right?
No,
right?
you're right on. I have the same experience. Working with people, everyone has a predominant sense, develop more than the rest of the sense. And you can usually tell by conversing with somebody because the best example I give is that when somebody says, do you feel what's going on here? Or in their feeling type of person, or they
Yeah.
say, are you seeing what's going on here? Or like if
Yeah.
they're more visual, or like, are you
I
hearing what's
can't hear a
going on
word you're
here?
saying.
Like,
I don't understand you. Right. Right. Um,
yeah,
so I'm audio digital,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And kinetic.
yeah.
So what does that mean? It means that I do very well at hearing, right?
Mm,
And when I hear, I have to put things in order, right? And I have to be like right now, I'm shaking my leg. I have to be physical at the same time.
mhm.
So I have to
To
do a
be
couple of sense,
present so you don't
right?
lose your
To be
anchor.
present. Yes, yes. And I never realized that, but when I was in school, when I look back now, my leg was always going, right? And I was writing. If you looked at my notes, they made no sense. But when I was done, I would put arrows to this goes to this, and this goes to that, and this goes to this.
Right.
Right. And I was done. There was no more learning. I heard it, I digital, right, wrote it, and
Mm,
then I put it in order.
right.
I was done. And people would say, well, did you study for the test? I'm like, no, I'm done. I can't learn anymore. What do you mean study? You want me to read? That will confuse me. I will lose the knowledge if you want me to read and study. I will lose what I gathered.
I won't say it's a knowledge to me. Like I don't even hang into, and this could be like a side effect of um, many times, or I don't know, but there isn't much retention. Like people have exquisite memory, and some people can go back to where they're six and have memories from that.
I can
Um,
too. I can
my
go back
my
to
my
two.
my my brother goes and tells me things that we've done in third grade, and I don't remember none of that stuff. I don't remember what I ate 2 days ago, or any of that. um, but when I don't have it, I trust that I'll have it when I need to have it. And mostly the ideas come in. So I don't have to worry about knowing something or having to like cram a bunch of stuff in the head. and
Because that's
and
not knowledge.
uh,
That's not knowledge. I've got a podcast shorts that I do from time to time called the Language and Etymology Chronicles. And I
okay.
take a word, and the first one I did was education,
Mm,
because that's been a bone of mine for decades. The word education, and we're talking about that right now. When Socrates talked about education, he was talking about bringing the knowledge inside, look inside, and bring it out. It's
mm,
bringing the knowledge out of you.
right.
And then World War II came, and the world watched how people could be dominated and manipulated through a man called Hitler. And the education system around the world, not just US, changed. And the change was, I'm going to put the knowledge in you. I'm going to cram it in there. You need to memorize, you need to learn. And what does that do? Look at what's happening. I'm not looking within, am I? I'm looking without. So I'm now being trained to look to you for my answers. I have to go to school. I have to be educated. I need a certificate. I need a degree. I need validation. I need the government to support me. I need someone else to love me. I
Right, right,
need.
right, right, right,
And
right.
all of that and what I've learned, because I was that person, I was educated that way, and I was never fulfilled.
Well, not only that, but I think you're also giving your power away, and you're saying, like you were talking about that example, explain this to me. It's like, what's
Yeah,
wrong with you figuring out on your own and finding the answers? Why would you give your
yeah,
power away to me and tell me to explain it to you?
yeah. The children
you,
figured it
you know what
out,
I mean? Or tell you what to do. Like
right?
you can figure it out. Everyone has everything. Everything it's like inside of them. But it's confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
It's confusing because we get mixed messages, right? And when people say to me, Gail, have you read such and such a book? No. Well, you should read such and such a book. No. Have you taken such and such a course? No. I have taken courses and done training every year of my life, and I'm not a young chick. And I still do. I am part of a community called Healing Millions, and there's training every day in that community. And I attend. I
Right.
participate and I attend, right? But most of that training is what's inside me to come out.
Right.
What's inside to come out. Um, I don't, I feel for me, I get my answers from the most amazing source there is,
Mm.
right? Right. I mean, Yanko, the book that I just published this year, it was a year ago. We're in May. A year ago, I was on the road and I got, you're going to write a book about dragons. And I'm like, yeah, right.
I
And
remember
we're,
that because
right?
we've been friends for maybe more than a year now. We knew each other for some
Yeah.
time, and in you're returning a guest in co-host and many times, which I appreciate and Kerri appreciates too, and I'm sure our viewers also appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, you
Yeah.
get
And that
you get
book,
that inspiration and the dragons, and every time it's something new and you bring it out with excitement and the
yeah,
different dragons that you met, and I remember it all. It's wonderful.
it was so much fun. So I knew which dragons, I mean, I had the outline for the book done as soon as I got to my destination. I mean, because I had to get it out before I lost it, right? Before I let it go. And then as I went from chapter to chapter, like, okay, so universe, you want me to talk about this dragon? What story am I going to tell? And then I would get, oh, okay, right? There you go. And some of the chapter, they're true stories, by the way. Um, some of the stories were things that I have totally forgot about my entire life. I mean, and it would come up and I'd be like, whoa, that's an interesting one. Okay. I totally
Yeah,
forgot about that.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And I know that this cannot happen if I don't, I call it living within the space of the breath. That's
Ooh,
the now,
yes. I love
the
that you're
space.
bringing it up because, like,
Yeah.
they talk about like breathing practices and everything, but not many people realize it until you actually figure it out on your own. If you
Yeah.
find the space between the inhale and exhale, when there's that, space, I
Right.
don't even
And,
know how
and
to explain
I know that's
it.
where everything is. That's where magic lies. That's where
Right.
wisdom lies. That's where your answers lie. And, in meditation, you'll hear take, a breath for the count of four, hold it for four, exhale for four. And that no one explains why. No one explains, what are you inhaling? What are you inhaling? If you don't breathe, you die. You're inhaling life force.
Right.
And what are you exhaling? If you don't exhale, trees die. You're
Yeah.
exhaling life force. You're
Yeah.
living symbiotically with the earth
Yeah. You're doing your
just by
part.
your breath, just by your breath.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's. I don't know. Some say you breathe in life because that's the first thing you do when you're born in this world. You breathe in the oxygen, which is also poisonous to your lungs. In the first breath you take, it's very painful because you feel this like, and you feel the pain in your lungs, and you go like, um, I sidetracked a little bit there, but it's 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 something, and then you die when you go, and there's nothing like it's just the body in the presence. I don't know. Try it out, people. That's what I'm gonna say. Sit down, just be present with your breath, and see what you figure out.
Yeah, I mean, just let your mind linger between, right? And so don't even count, right? Because even that, even that's a distraction, right? In the meditation, but breathe in
Well, it is. That's why
and
there's
just
different
hover.
practices. Yeah,
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 yeah.
and
You
just
don't
hover
want. You don't want. Go ahead.
and just
Sorry.
exhale when you're ready.
Mhm.
But if you're able to do it with the understanding what you're breathing in, and then that you're in that space, that limbo, if you will, that it's called the abyss in the Kabbalah, and then you exhale and appreciate how you're sharing life with the in and the
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
You might surprise yourself and figure out that you're one with everything.
Yeah. Well, then there's the universal law of oneness,
Yes.
right? You know, um, and that gets back to us talking about the mirror,
No.
right? The reason that you're a mirror for me is because we are one.
Right. No.
Yeah.
It's. I had a thought when we are talking about it earlier about breathing in and out, and you were saying like counting and forcing it, and I wanted to share something else and say that you don't even have to force it. When the moment it's right, it'll just happen automatically. The body knows what to do, the same way the body knows how to grow your nails and your hair, and how to digest your food, and move the oxygen and the blood and beat your heart and everything else. All you got to do is allow it to happen. That's pretty much it. You don't have to count anything or force it
Exactly.
to do anything.
Exactly.
So
When I do meditations now, and I talk about the breathing in and the breathing out, but I don't count. I say, on your own rhythm,
mhm,
breathe in
mhm,
and breathe out. And you see how I
mhm,
pause? Breathe in and breathe out in your own rhythm. Because I know when
right.
someone tells me to breathe in and then hold in the breathe out, I start to panic because it's not my natural rhythm. And how can I
Well,
meditate if I'm panicking?
right. And here's a sidetrack I want to say, because people get scared sometimes when that breathing stops automatically on his own when they're sitting and meditating. That's okay. It's also okay to start breathing again. So if that happens to you when you meditate or you're sitting with your breath, don't panic. It's okay.
Your body will not let it stop.
Oh no, you'll have moments if you get deep. The body will stop breathing. You'll be
Oh,
there,
yeah.
the observer. The breathing will stop, and there will be
But
no
for a bit.
need for breathing. Yeah, there'll be no need. Like you will not gonna feel like you're suffocating and you need to breathe. The body will do it automatically. But to the mind, into the persona or the mask you're wearing at that moment, it might be. I'm not saying it will be, but it might be kind of interesting, unusual to experience that because you never experienced it before, and you might go, "Wow, something's going on here. Maybe I'm dying."
But we hold our breath in many situations and don't even realize it,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right. So it's fine. I mean, it's it's just kind of
No, I,
interesting.
I just had that in. I had to share because like we're
Yeah.
talking about breathing and all that, and so it's interesting. Like I said, the more I know, the more I realize that I don't know anything about anything. It's just
Yeah.
like it's all an illusion. It gives you the sense of knowing and the safety, and you can say, "Well, maybe I know." And to me, as soon as you recognize that and you say, "I know," this is it. You're done. You're not pursuing anything else because you made up your mind and you think you know. So yeah,
Yeah. And that's where earlier we talked about when someone else says that they have the answer, that they will bring you to power and wisdom. You can't
no,
bring me anywhere.
yes,
I bring me where I need to go.
right,
And you don't know what I need. You're not me. You've not lived my life. And Yanko, I've not lived your life. I don't
right,
know what you need, but I can hold space for you
right.
to find out. I
Yeah.
can be a mirror for you to find out. I can be there as you fall to pieces, if you will, when you find out. And I'll
Well,
be celebrating
right.
with you when the you that's been waiting to come out
That's what I was gonna
comes
say.
out.
The falling to pieces. It's the good news.
Yes.
Because you never existed in the first place.
Not like this. No,
uh,
no.
so much fun.
Right. And so, I have a friend who she went to Brazil and, had serious awakening. And came back lost, because many people, now what? Now what? Right? This is everything that I thought was real is not. Now what?
Yeah.
And she was having a crisis,
Of
and
course.
she called,
It's
and I'm
very
like,
stressful
oh,
to the mind. Yeah,
yeah,
because he likes to be
yeah,
in control and know what's up.
yeah.
If
And
there's
I literally
nothing,
congratulated her. I said, awesome.
did you
That
say, "Are
means
you
you're
out of your
working.
mind? Like, what are you talking
No,
about?"
yes, she was out of her mind. And she got through it. She got through it, and she's amazing. I love watching her posts, um, and watching her. And she's going to be an amazing leader. She already is an amazing leader. And she already had the answers, and she's like, "I need to know." And like, you already know everything that you need to know. You don't
Yeah.
need me to tell you anything, right? But to go through that and to walk beside her was a blessing. It's a blessing for me to do that kind of stuff because every time I bear witness, Yanko, I grow.
Um, I mean, that's part of like opening the heart in that, because to me, opening it's going back to oneness. Because before that, in order to be you and separate, you didn't want to feel anything. You're kind of like closing in the bubble and closing your heart and like, I don't want to. Or like people say, "Oh, it broke my heart." Well, of course, it's gonna break your heart. That's what it's supposed to be. Not putting a bubble around you. So
My favorite story, my poor son, he's entering college, boarding for the first time, and I take off across the country 3,000 miles away. And he calls me. His girlfriend broke up with him, which happens. And he was devastated, Yanko. He was, and I'm like, oh, what a horrible mother. I should be there. I need to be there. So I ended up coming back to be with him. But what I said to him was that I was so proud that he was hurting so much because that meant he loved that much.
Mm.
And I encouraged him to take the chance to love that deeply again because it's worth it.
It is worth it.
Right. And he said, well, that's no comfort, Mom. I said, well, you take a chance of hurting like this again, but then you take the chance. And he's got the most
And
amazing marriage, by the way. Yeah.
well, that's one of the promises people do sometimes. They promise to themselves and they say in the midst of a crisis like that or anything, they say, I never gonna feel this way ever again. And this is it. The wall, it's there. And
Yeah.
then you go on many years later and you grew up, your perspective changed, everything changed, and now you're not looking out, you're looking for a partner, and you wonder why you can't find one because that wow that I never doing this again it's still there. uh,
Yep. Yep. And that's, that's the experience that we signed up for.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's confusing when you don't know what's up and you don't figure things out. Because I remember one day sitting in quiet and thinking that this is crap. Like I felt like I'm in this prison here and this is crap and like why am I even here? I didn't want to be here. How do I get out of here? Get me out of here. You know what I mean? And then this knowing or whatever came over and said, well, you sign up to do this. And then that kind of tipped me off even more. I said, why would I do that? This is insane.
This is the responsibility that I was talking about,
I
right?
know. It's like, why did I do this? This is insane. Are you telling me I signed up to come here and be in this prison? Like,
Right.
are you? No.
Right.
Uh, but
But we
again,
did.
as you go through the experience and you get more aha moments and you start kind of to figure out because it's kind of like the example people tell with the blinding light. Like if somebody shines a light on you in your face when you're in dark, you can't see anything until you kind of adapt to what's going on and then everything comes in focus. That's the time when everything kind of comes in focus and then you're like, oh, okay. Now
And
now
see,
now
I
I
use the
remember.
opposite example. I say, if I shut the light off, I can't see anything in the room.
Oh,
But if I wait a moment, my eyes adjust.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? We use the same example in different way.
Yep. Just from a different, that's perspective, right? It's so we're
Right,
telling the
right,
same story,
right,
just from a different perspective, and they're both correct,
right.
right?
But that brings me back to what I was saying earlier. I don't know if I'm correct. I'm just sharing what's my truth at this
For
moment.
me,
And
correct for
yeah,
me. Yeah.
right.
Right.
So I don't know. If tomorrow I come to new information, I may feel inspired to share with somebody. I may even go and say, look out, world, this is what I know. And they might go like, big deal. Keep
Right.
going.
Or a
Yeah.
few hours later, you go, well, that was wrong.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
not wrong, it
Exactly.
just doesn't fit anymore. So you grew
Right,
out of
right,
those
right.
genes. Those genes don't
Right,
fit anymore,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all a good thing. And I think that is, one of the trainings I did in the summit that I did in March, that presentation was about the game, playing the game, and it's the game of life. If
Yeah.
everything is energy, now what? Right? If everything is energy and everything is energy, now what? What do you do with that? Right? And it really is about frequency, about vibration. How I feel is going to attract that like a magnet, right? It's going to
Mm,
attract that. And
right.
so if I'm in a situation in this, and I mean, I go through all of this when I have a knee jerk reaction, if you will. What is it about me that attracted this? And what do I do with that information? And it's not that I'm wrong.
Right.
It's just, am I in alignment? And I might be in alignment and still be attracting that because that might be alignment for me today. May not be in alignment for me tomorrow, but today it is because I'm not 100% perfect. I'm not always up. I'm not, and so in alignment is what frequency am I in today? Right? Again,
I don't
power
even
versus
think that.
force.
Yeah, I don't even think that's how it works. Like there's no ultimate alignment. I think we're always, and this is why we're in this density, always modulate up and down and
Yeah,
left, right. There's
I'm
different
saying there
dimensions
is
that you
no.
go in. Yeah, there's not one way um to feel about it or think that you're in a different way or um
I mean,
it
some
is
days
just what it
I
is.
get up and I feel like crap,
Yeah,
right? And sometimes I wake up and I'm on top of the world,
right.
right?
Yeah,
And then everything in between,
right.
right? And sometimes everything in between, hour by hour by hour by hour, right? And it's all good. It's all
Yeah.
just me experiencing life, and it's just a game.
Or life experiencing you.
I I don't I don't see it. I don't see it that way because I can see me observing me and actually laughing. So and you can just play with it, and see what happens in your life. That your original soul, wherever that
Yeah,
is 12 in cosmic years, and created this game to play like a video game, right? And it's just like a video game when your character falls off the cliff. I mean, you might go, ah, and then what do? You put the character back on the cliff, right? To try again. And then the next time you go to the next level and you win some power ups.
right,
So that you is projecting through this avatar and
right.
playing the game, and having a ball while we're sitting here suffering. I don't want to
Um,
suffer.
sure.
I'm just going to experience. I'm just going to
Yes,
experience because the me who created this is having a blast.
right.
So
Yeah,
why don't I have a blast too?
right. That's the
Right?
right question to ask. How can I make this more fun at this moment?
Right? Right? Even if it's not what I want. Like, this morning my friend's dog got stuck in barbed wire. Poor dog.
Oh,
So yeah, so she ran out and grabbed the dog. I went out and held her while my friend went and got clippers to cut the barbed wire and untangle the dog.
mm,
Poor dog, yelping. And you know did I want that to happen? No, but I'm so grateful I was here to help my friend and help the
right,
dog, right? And she doesn't seem, I mean, she's going to go to the vet to make sure she's okay later on today, but she seems, considering what could have happened,
right.
right? Right. So, no, life isn't beautiful and rosy every moment of every day.
I mean, you need. I think it's that font that gives you the difference between the one side and the other side. Because if it's like all the same, And sometimes it is. It feels that way, but it's
And it's
not.
boring.
Your mind perceives it. Yeah, it is boring. So from time to time, you have to have that scared of like, oh, what happened to the dog? Oh my god! And you can milk it. You can get in character and
Yeah.
be as surprised as you want or
Yeah.
not.
Right. Or just the only thing I was concerned was that I didn't, because I ran out barefoot. Oh yeah, I do have some scratches from the barbed wire.
Oh,
But I know I
oh,
just want to make sure I wasn't running through poison ivy, so I've washed off with, poison ivy stuff. But anyway, Yanko, we need to go.
oh, that's right. Well, any parting words? Do you want to share your upcoming events that we talked about before the show? I was hoping that you bring it up, but we got winded in the sides before we
I
close
know.
it off.
Oh, I've got so many going on. But in October 7th, 8th, and 9th, I am in an event, The New Era of Global Healing. And it's pretty amazing. I'll be doing a live while I'm there, and it's going to be Remember the Magic. And it's all about returning to who you really are. Remember the
Wonderful.
magic. And I will be talking about the space between the breaths during that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
So
thank you for joining me today and in filling the spot for Kerri and being an amazing co-host,
it
sharing your
was fun.
wisdom and yeah, your knowledge,
It was
vibing
fun.
with me, and I appreciate anybody that joined in, commented, and shared vibration and exchange energy with us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, and I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of your week. And we'll
Yes.
see you
Have
next
a great
Friday.
weekend. Yes.
That's right.